Hello and welcome to Wingin It. So I have some gameplay here today, and it's not just me this time. I'm joined by a friend, so I've got Groovenstein with me. Hello, Groovenstein.
Flan, what is up, my dude?
What is up? All is good. I'm glad to have you here. I think this is going to be good. So what we're going to do is a kind of casual, open hand game. So no secrets hidden, but we're going to sort of talk through what we're doing as we're doing it, and yeah, hopefully be able to share some kind of good, tactical and strategic insights as we're doing it.
Yeah, should be interesting. I hope the game goes a little bit better for me than the one the other day where I think you scorched me by about 30. So
Well, I wasn't going to bring that up, but you've already done it for me, so here we
oh my
go. All
goodness.
right, you've probably already seen the tray.
Yeah, well, and you've got a nice quick forest setup too there. That's
Indeed,
that's
indeed.
some solid business.
I think so. Yeah, quite a good array of choices. So we are going to be playing house rules, which means that as much as I'd love to play that killdeer as soon as possible in round one, I will have to wait a little bit on that. But I think
Yeah,
it.
give
I
a
think
give a guy a fighting
yeah,
chance.
I can probably still make it work. So yeah, I guess really the question is kind of what else do I look to keep? Oh, and nice bonus cards as well, ecologist
Mm.
or forester. That's going to be a tricky one. I think you're right. Kind of these, strong forest birds kind of make sense. I think often with birds like the killdeer and the raven, if you do get those early, and you kind of have to wait in that round one, you need to find yourself doing something. It's kind of a bit slow otherwise. So I think having some good forest options to get that set up. It's just how greedy I am, and whether I go for something like the catbird or even the sparrow as well. Yeah, tricky decision really for the
Yeah,
for that
yeah, and I
first
mean,
round.
I'm with you. I mean, the chickadee and the what is it, the titmouse? I think. I
Yeah,
mean, those are pretty automatic.
yeah,
The vireo you can rule out. It's unfortunate. It's a nice bird, but it's
yeah.
it's kind of not worth the price of admission at this stage. Um, the yeah, the sparrow. I mean, the sparrow is nice because anytime you're going to be going with a killdeer raven type situation in the grassland, you're gonna be spending some eggs. And particularly since at least as of right now, you don't have another egg bird for your grassland like a Brewer's blackbird or something.
Yeah.
You could maybe talk yourself into keeping that one, but I don't know. I think I would maybe be inclined to keep the catbird
Mm.
and kind of just spend the first round just getting that forest set up. I think that's how I would go about it.
Yeah, I mean it's true. Like a bird like the catbird, it's really flexible. So when you give yourself a chance to see lots of cars with the killdeer, maybe I find that bush tit or Brewer's blackbird, or even just like a barn swallow. If you get something like that, and you can start copying that, it's going to be extra points. And yeah, I think kind of when you do have these kind of nice forest birds, that first round, even if I just spend 3 or 4 turns getting food, it's not going to be wasted because I'm still getting points while I'm doing that. So
Yeah, no
um,
doubt.
yeah, I think I'm going to go for that. And do you know what? I'm going to risk it on the forester.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I was
I
I was gonna say, yeah. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
think that ecologist is probably the safer pick. It's most people consider it guaranteed at least 4 points. In a lot of cases, probably guaranteed six. But with these kind of two good forest birds already, I know there's a lot of those double birds that are very kind of easy
Mm.
to find when you've got a killdeer, and so a couple of those, if I've got all game to find them, that upper threshold of 8 points is very tempting. So
Yeah,
um,
that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. You all of a sudden those downy woodpeckers,
yeah,
those kinglets and stuff you're picking up can yeah. I gotcha.
exactly. All right. Well, now let's see if you've got some strong birds as well to hopefully match this.
Oh, hello.
Okay,
I
that's
mean, it's not
that's
bad.
no,
Like
that
it's
is nice. That is a nice start.
looks looks just kind of looks crap by comparison, but no, that's actually a good setup. Now I'm curious, is there a fish in the feeder? There is not.
No.
because I'm thinking like, and I'm gonna flesh this out. Maybe it ends up dumb, but like there's nothing in the tray I'm really in love with, and you know, so I mean I could like let me see if this makes any sense, because okay, so I first move I put the sparrow down, second move I get food, lay an egg, then I put the gnatcatcher down. All of a sudden I've got a ton of food. Like
Yeah.
I think in about 6 turns I've got a strong forest and a strong wetland.
Yeah, I think it's one
Uh,
of those where you can afford to be greedy. I think in a lot of cases, keeping 4 birds and just that one food, it can really slow you down. But like you say, those kind of first few turns, I think playing the sparrow and then trying to get that gnatcatcher down as well, it's really natural. Like it kind of feels like that's what you'd want to be doing anyway. And then suddenly 3 food a turn, getting these other birds down is really not going to be a problem. And yeah, I mean, there's no fish in the bird feeder, but I think it's set up in a reasonable state where you'll be able to re-roll it, before not too long.
yeah, for sure. And like the snipe, it's great because there's so much like the heron and the snipe. I'm I've got the gnatcatcher to go with it. Like those are birds that are going to be pretty easy to get down. And even if I have to force the heron in there, like it's really not that big a deal, just because I'm getting through food already, and the snipe is so cheap.
Exactly.
So hopefully when I click on this bonus button, I see a little food web expert.
That's the dream,
But
isn't it?
yeah. Oh no, that's much worse. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and go with that guy. Bird feeder, it's pretty rare that I would pick that one. I mean, it's sometimes where you have a situation where you're starting off with 3 or 4 birds and they all eat wheat. Well, then okay, you look at it. But yeah, I mean the viticulturalist, it's only going to be 2 birds to get 3 points instead of 4 to get 3 points. So that seems pretty standard as well.
Yeah,
so
that feels like the reasonable choice, I think, there, viticulturalist.
Yeah. No.
All right then, here we go. So I think we both got pretty straightforward first few turns, at least.
Yeah. I mean, short of and really about the only weird thing is if you rule 6. Well, you can't rule 16 with a killdeer, but if you brought if you revealed some kind of like
Exactly,
a martin, a swallow, a blackbird, something I had to deny. That's really the only kind of interesting decision point here.
Yeah, I think something like the stilt is potentially something that I could be looking at. I mean, it's one of those, like I said before, this first round when you're kind of waiting to play that killdeer, I don't want to be spending turns setting up a wetlands only to then not use it. I want to be doing some productive engine building and getting some of these birds down. The stilt is kind of like a potential option, I think. Just because it's not really that strong wetland engine building bird. It's kind of that one use power that actually you don't mind playing in your wetlands when you're running killdeer. But yeah, I think I've probably got enough to be getting on with in this early game, at least to not tempt me into taking it quite yet.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing with the it's you don't know I'm sitting on the blue heron. Right?
Well, exactly.
So from your perspective, it would be a reasonable guess that maybe that still is worth another 3 points by being able to tie me on the end of round. So there's that, and eventually you are going to need a wetland bird for that 30 OR. But yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe it ends up making sense for you. Maybe not. Plus, it does get you a couple more cards, and maybe you get lucky there. But
yeah, I think just kind of like looking at how many turns I've got. I'm going to play this titmouse. I've then got 3 turns. It's probably 2 turns getting food, maybe 3 turns getting food. I don't think I've got enough turns to kind of get food, pick up a card, and then play it. That is where it kind of really starts to slow down your tempo.
Yeah, and see, I went for the wheat there just because there was no fish, right? If there was a fish, then of course I take it. But no fish, so and I have easy access to grub, so
Exactly.
why not just grab the grain and
diversify your food wherever possible, I think.
Yeah. So this is yeah. Okay, so let us although maybe that that chimney swift might be a bird that I grab. Just it is a star nest, so maybe that's something I pick up there. So why don't I do this?
And again, it's worms, and you're getting plenty of worms, so it's easy enough to get down.
Yeah.
All right, I'm praying for some cherries. Nope, there's all the fish.
Oh shoot.
Well, sorry, but I'm about to re-roll that again, so
fair enough.
That's not going to work out too well for you. But yeah, a couple of cherries there, so I'm quite happy with that. I can go back and hopefully pick that up on the next turn. But yeah, I think just kind of going back on the end of round point. It's never nice to not even qualify for an end of round, because obviously you're not going to score any points that way. I think probably the first round is the one that I'm most comfortable leaving, because it is only 1 point at the end of the day. And actually, if it slows down that kind of engine building process, your tempo in that early game, if you have to spend a couple of turns just trying to qualify for an end of round goal, you kind of find yourself slipping behind. And actually, for maybe only 1 point in a situation like this, I'm not sure it's always worth it.
Yeah. Now here, since that fish did come up, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab it. I mean, I got 3 turns left.
Yeah. You got time.
I don't feel like there's any need to rush anything, so may as well. And I'll go ahead and grab another grub, because why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think in a position like yours, you're going to be going first in that second round. So as long as you get these 2 wetland birds down at some point during this round, it doesn't. You're probably not going to be looking to draw too many cards this round. I think it's more about what comes up in that second round tray for you.
Yeah.
Why is it now that all the fish are coming up?
Oh, like a bald eagle OP.
Yeah, no doubt. That would be nice.
All right, so then here's where I
Yep.
give you the bad news, although you, I'm sure, suspected it anyway.
Yeah.
That's you've the only reason I wouldn't be putting a wetland bird down is if I had a killdeer or a gull, and well, you've got half of that equation.
Yeah.
So
yeah, indeed. Alright, so I know I can safely get this catbird down. I've still got an egg left, and obviously the food, so I can get this killdeer down. And yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of known what you've been doing, so I haven't really. Yeah, that's nice. You get the killdeer down first turn, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now see, here's I think is a decision maybe worth talking about a little bit. Is it whether I want to do any of those birds in the tray. Because I think, I mean, the chimney swift and the loon we can rule out, but the chimney swift and the stilt, I've already got the food for them. The chimney swift has the benefit of, working for a couple of those end of rounds, and then the stilt. Although I really don't need to advance my wetlands at this point, I do have the food for it if. It'd be nice maybe to have kind of in my back pocket for just that ability to be able to draw 2 cards. But I don't know. I think I'm better off. I really have no grassland birds to speak of right now, so I think it's basically my options are either draw 2 from the deck or draw 1 from the deck, maybe take the chimney swift, or just draw another from the deck. And then of course I'm going to activate that snipe every single time, because you're going to get a million cards.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's that kind of position where you've already got loads of food, you're in no rush to gain food, especially when you don't know what food you're looking for because you haven't got any birds, and laying eggs is not really an option because you're only getting 2, you get 1 from your forest anyway. So yeah, I think going for cards is the logical play.
Yeah, yeah, and this is just a really like micro tactical thing,
Yep.
but sometimes I do I I kind of rush through it without thinking. But okay, if I'm thinking maybe I'm going to take the chimney swift, or let's say it was a much better bird, and I'm thinking I'm definitely going to take that bird. Well, I still, or I'm very likely to take that bird, right? You still want to, if there's only one bird, well, I'm getting to pick two cards, you may as well look at the first bird off the deck.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Since this is already a known, right?
Ooh.
And then maybe, because what happens, maybe, let's say this was an okay bird and I'm thinking about taking it. Well, maybe the first bird off the deck is better or the same. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, then I can just look at the second card too. Now, I don't know. I don't think the chimney swift is there's some benefits to it, but I don't think it's all that strong. And I'm going to get to see the tray first next turn. I'm just going to look at another one from the deck. So, hello.
There you go. That'll do nicely.
Yeah.
Another one that you've already got the food to play. So.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely worth going for cards there.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a bad pickup. All right, and there's that fresh round 2 tray for you.
Oh, quail. The turkey, the turkey, the gallinule. Man, there's some
good options.
No doubt. I only get 2 of them, unfortunately. Now I know the quail will have some appeal to you, because you're going to be, pushing out that grasslands. I mean, it's early enough, certainly where it's worth getting down, advancing your grasslands, getting those extra eggs.
Yep.
I know that you have really no real interest in the gallinule, so I can safely leave that bird in the tray for later, I think. So I think, and the turkey, goes to my bonus card. It's a ton of nest space.
Yeah.
I think that's worth picking. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, and probably grab both of them. Yeah, I don't know. What do you?
Yeah, I think the kind of, like you say, the quail is good for both of us. Certainly, I wouldn't mind taking it, but you kind of need to get that grasslands going if you're going to work towards that. But yeah, something like the turkey, when you've got such easy access to food, I think makes sense. And like you say, all those nest spaces can potentially come in handy later in the game as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and grab those and then see what I get. How about a grassland tucker? Negative. That's okay. Falcon's decent.
It's not bad, yeah. Ooh, and another pink bird in the tray. Oh, wow. That's not so good. Yeah, so a bit of a dilemma for me here. Do I spend that turn denying that? I don't know. I think I look at your board at the moment and go, you haven't got any cavity spaces for that to lay anything or lay eggs into, so I feel safe enough leaving that for now.
Yeah, I think the only, and of course, see, my dilemma is, and you don't know this, but my dilemma is that bird also has value in helping me qualify for the end of round, because if I'm going to spend a few turns playing birds and stuff here, like I actually kind of need that bird, even though I don't have any cavity spaces. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just not leave that sitting there, because you have a ton. You've got a ton of cavity nest space. That might be a good bird for you for the next end of round. So even if it's not something you'd be looking to play right away, it's not really I don't think a great bird for you, but it's good enough. So then the question for me here, of course, this is the gallinule, such a big bird, but still I have to get my grasslands going. So I think I'm going to take cards again. I'm going to take. I'm going to see what this is. And that's nice.
Ooh. One I definitely would have liked.
Yeah. And then I think I'll go ahead and grab this just to make sure I do qualify for that end of round.
Yep.
Because I don't want to leave those 2 points on the table.
No.
So,
and the fish is already there as well in the bird feeder, so
yeah.
Right. Oh, another bird I've been looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it you were saying early on? Right.
Yeah.
Those forest double birds for your
Oh,
bonus card.
that's not too bad. American robin.
Oh, see, I was looking for that.
Yeah. I think we both got birds that the other player wanted.
Yeah.
But there you go. All right. So, yeah, I think now it's the point where I just start going to town on these grassland activations and really kind of hoping that I can get something good from.
Something other than
Oh, that'll do.
wetland birds.
Dark-eyed junco.
Junco.
That will do.
Oof.
That will do quite nicely. So. Yeah, and then see, that's where the catbird's going to come in. Now I can start, switching what I copy up, and do I need the extra food? Do I want to try and get some extra tucks? A bit more cycling through of cards.
Well, yeah, because if you get a you get a goose or a
precisely.
crane,
Yep.
Yeah, that's like the catbird. That's why the catbird is such a beast in
Yep.
the grasslands. When you've got that kind of setup where it can activate so many different birds.
Exactly, it's the flexibility. It's okay. What do I need? Do I need more cards? Well, I copy the killdeer. Do I need more food? Do I need more tucks? Well, I copy the junco or something else. It depends what you're going for. You can kind of mix and match what you're copying. It's that flexibility that something like the catbird buys you. Yeah, no other bird really is going to get you something like that.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at your board. So you've got 6 of those catty nest spaces, and because the thing is, I really do have a lot of good options.
So
here, right?
almost too many good options.
Yeah. This is the part of the game where I start going, my head starts spinning. Right. I don't have a fish. So, but I don't know that I don't really want to. I really want to start building this grassland out. So I think I'm looking at, okay, I got 5 turns left. The second to last one has to be
right.
Or to play the golden eye, or else I can't lay eggs on it. The other option is, the titmouse. I could do the titmouse with something. It looks like basically with the turkey.
Yeah.
Which would be a nice big play and would qualify for it. So it's just kind of a question of the order of operations here. I think I can expect you. I'm looking at your situation, right? You have no food.
Yeah.
So I know, and you just drew a bunch of cards. Like, there's a decent chance you're going to be getting food. So maybe that cowbird isn't getting activated right away. Man. Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think I might just go ahead and maybe get that cowbird down, because there's always a chance like things develop in such a way where I'm not sure. Basically, I think right now it's either quail or cowbird, right? So
yeah, it's one of those positions where you're almost kind of overwhelmed with different options. If you had half as many cards as you already had here, I think you'd still be struggling to work out, okay, which things do I need to get down? And like you say, you've got to take into account end of round goal. You've got to take into account, okay, something like the cowbird, is it going to get activated? What am I going to do? Do I need to get birds down before I'm laying eggs? Think about what you're going to do with these next 5 turns.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a tricky spot. I'm not sure that this is the right decision, but I think I'm going to go ahead and put that cowbird down, even though I'm not expecting you to activate it for a couple turns. It is 5 points. I know for sure I'm definitely going to want to play it. Like, there's always a chance with the quail, as things develop and it gets later, you decide to cast that bird aside. So I think I'm going to do that into the crow. Then lay eggs, spend an egg to get a fish, get the golden eye down, and then lay eggs again. And that's kind of got to be my plan here. So
sounds like a good plan.
Yeah,
and that cowbird is definitely going to come in handy. You're already seeing this grasslands I'm setting up. You've got plenty of bowl nest spaces to keep you going. So
no doubt.
Yeah. All right, now I just prey on the reroll, and there we go. That's the food I'm looking for. So fairly straightforward, I think. I was kind of thinking during that turn. I've seen people play Junko in the forest in this kind of position, just for that. Extra food. Obviously, the kind of forest I've already got set up works quite well if I've got all these extra cards. But I think for me, like points you touched on before, if you draw something like a goose or a crane, and you've already played Junko in the forest, you look a bit silly.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. And even if you don't get those, I mean, the opportunity
Right.
to be able to tuck 2 additional cards, gain 2 food, which could be maybe functionally 1 food depending on the bird you want to play. I think it's just so much better in that.
Yeah.
In that grassland. Yeah, and see here now you've got no eggs. You just put the Junko down. Like I'm expecting that cowbird automatically to pay off. And you think of it versus the quail, right? Like there's already a 5-point difference in the birds.
Yeah.
And I know that you're going to be hammering like that cowbird is going to get me 8-10 eggs or something. So yeah, I think holding off on the quail makes sense, especially when you figure the rest of the moves that I have to take in order to do what I want with the golden eye and everything. So I guess at the moment the only thing that's potentially worth considering is, do I want to skip the golden eye to do the titmouse turkey thing? But I don't think so, because I can still do that, and then all of a sudden I'm getting 2 eggs.
Yeah.
So it's like I still think there's a lot of benefit to playing that.
I think so.
Playing that golden eye, yeah. So I'm gonna shove my eggs, do a couple on the crow,
get them as far away from those bowl nests as possible.
Bingo, yeah, and start to think about the next end of round and kind of developing like where are my eggs going to end up, because I know next turn I'm going to be laying some eggs on the golden eye. So.
Yeah, and that's where something like the crow comes in. You can be sort of selective of, okay, am I starting to fill up on these bowl nest spaces? Well, now I'm going to start discarding from that, and you kind of get that flexibility, and yeah, that's what you're looking for, really.
Yeah.
All right, so fairly straightforward, I think here. Just kind of. Oh, there we go.
Oh, come on.
That would do very nicely. Yep, I think I'll be getting that down as soon as I can. So, yeah, that's makes me glad I didn't play the Junko in the forest, because that would be getting absolutely no use once this Raven goes down. So, but hey, you're going to get plenty of usage out of your pink powers. So, silver linings.
Yes, 100%.
You know exactly what's coming. So,
absolutely.
Right. Yeah, I guess the kind of slight complication I need to think about is this end of round, and okay, I'm gonna lay eggs, and then if I play a bird, how many eggs is that going to leave in those cavity nest spaces? And I know now that you've got that golden eye down, you can potentially get 3 in there. So I need to make sure I'm on at least 4. I don't want to be losing this instead of winning, because that 6-point swing is quite a big one.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I learned that lesson fairly early on, probably from you.
Yeah, it's a big one. I think you've always got to be kind of vigilant and paying attention. I think it is very easy to be in a comfortable position like this. You think, oh, I'm winning the end of round goal, and not thinking about what your opponent's going to do, how many eggs they can lay, and actually, if I want to play this bird, because I could play the Raven on this next turn, but that's going to bump me down to just 2 eggs. In the cavity nest spaces compared to your 3, and yeah, I think that 1 extra turn of not having the Raven down, it's still a productive turn. I'm not doing nothing. I'm still getting cards. I'm still getting tucks and eggs, and obviously a bit of extra food from the Junko. So it's not a complete waste of time.
Yeah. Now here I have to start. I mean, it's a no-brainer laying eggs on that golden eye, right? But then the question becomes, how do I build this out? Because I've got, as we say, I've got the the titmouse turkey situation, where the titmouses can take the eggs from the golden eye. So there's definitely some advantage to getting that down, and that also on its own is, it's okay. Let's see. There's 10 points between those two birds. Minus the 3 eggs is 7, but I get those 3 eggs back because both of those birds are going to qualify for my bonus card. So
Yep.
that's a 10-point play, and I think I just want to make sure that I can make it. How many more times am I going to take cards? Maybe one. But I think because this bird has so much food flexibility, and this one, is going to take a couple of those grains. I think I'm going to go ahead with the grain.
Yeah.
Planning on, the following turn, getting a bunch of food, then making that play, and keeping in mind all the while that you're going to be laying eggs for me.
Right.
And then, maybe I'm able to, depending on how the feeder shakes out, because once these two are down up there, I'm getting 4 food a turn. Maybe I can get one of these nice big predator birds down in my grassland to be getting some additional points, or we can kind of see what comes up in the tray, because I think I will want one final play with with the egret as well. So that's kind of my thought process there. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the seed.
Sounds good. Like you say, I think getting that titmouse down is going to be so important. You need some way of getting eggs from that golden eye, and yeah, the more times you see me activating this grasslands and kind of cycling through and getting the eggs and the tucks, you know that plenty of eggs are going to be coming through from those pink powers.
Yeah, and of course, knowing that my egg spaces are many of them anyway are going to be filling up from your activation. That's less time
Right.
that I need to be spending in my grassland, so I can be looking at gaining food, taking additional cards, so I can get some big point plays down.
Yeah, I think this is really where that kind of strategy is going to shine. You've got some good big point bird options already in your hand. You've got easy access for food, and certainly once that double play goes down in the forest, you're not going to be struggling for food at all. So this is where you kind of just go for big point birds. You go for bonus cards, and hopefully you can get something good.
Yeah, for sure. And you're going to be. Yeah, see, you get that raven down, and now my question is, do I draw cards or not? And I think that spotted owl is a really nice potential pickup.
Yeah, and it's certainly one that I'd be going for. Ordinarily, I think if I had got that raven down already and I was going to be laying eggs, I'd be taking that every time.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not worried about you're gonna get your cards. No problem. The thing is, I've got 6 birds in my hand, with 11 turns to go. So I guess it's just, my question is it worth, do I spend the egg here, and do I activate the snipe? And I think the answer to both of those questions is going to be yeah.
Yep.
Like I don't think I'm going to end up short of eggs. Of course, I'll spend it off the sparrow. Well, there we go. There's yes.
Damn.
Oh,
wow. All right, just take.
What was it?
Take all the birds I'm looking for.
Tournament game right there.
That's the one you're looking for. Yeah.
Let's just give me like a barn swallow or something. I don't know.
That is a shame, but
look at that lovely hawk, Flynn. I left you a hawk.
Not so keen. Not so keen on that either. Yeah. Now, for me, kind of the question is, okay, do I take the certainty? Do I play that American Robin? Obviously, I can get it down in the grasslands. I know it's going to get me points, but then that's that risk of, well, I filled up my final grassland spot. What if I draw something like the bush tit that you've just taken? There's some other options there, or a goose or a crane like we talked about before, and then you've already filled up that spot with what's actually a low point bird. It's that kind of gamble, but I'm gonna take the gamble. I'm gonna leave it at least one turn. I think I can potentially afford to do that. So Really,
Yeah, I mean, I think
yeah.
so. I mean, you get to look at 4 more cards right now.
Well, precisely. Yeah, exactly. I've got that kind of flexibility on the. Oh, that's quite nice. I think the Oriole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's about whether how much do I want to copy the killdeer. I've already got some good options. I think that ibis. I need to get something in the wetland down to help for this end of round. So that'll be going down not before too long. I think I'm going to keep getting those extra tucks for now, at least on the Junko. But yeah, some good options I think from what I've drawn there.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point to pause on for people is because we can so easily fall into the trap of, oh, if I can, I just want to see more cards so I can maybe get the crane or the goose. But I think it was Wingsplain posted on the Discord where they said a like if you have a good option that can be much better than just the possibility of a premium option.
Yep.
Right, so you've already got a lot of good cards in your hand, and instead of spending an egg, which is it's costing you a point to take 2 more cards on the chance that maybe you get one that works out really well, you can just take the point that is that you have available, and kind of keep going with the good options that you have.
Yeah, and when you kind of think about, okay, what are the options I'm looking for? Goose Crane, that's 2 cards out of a deck of 180. How realistic is it that I'm going to find that? Not very. I think it's a case where you kind of take what you have, and I look at how many turns I've got left. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get too many activations anyway.
Yeah. Now this is interesting, this draw for me, because that Swift with the
all these cards,
now, yeah, now becomes kind of I'm facing a sort of a timing issue at this point. There's also, of course, the bush tit as well, which actually is would be a
lots of egg spaces. Yeah,
superior play for a number of reasons. So it's a question of, do I get that down now? And I think the answer to that is probably yeah. I think let's just let's get that going this way. Now I'm looking at I'm easily gonna win this end of round. I'm easily gonna win the last one, and so it's getting this down just kind of lets me, like, I don't know that I even have to take eggs anymore for the next, at least for a few turns. I can kind of gather up some food to make some of these big point plays.
Yep, I think even if you're not activating that bush tip anytime soon, like you say, those kind of star nest spaces helps the end of round, just helps the golden eye as well. And yeah, I mean, if you do kind of find yourself with extra cards at the end of the game, there's 2 points per card there with the tuck, so that's always nice.
Yeah, no doubt. And then here's where you see me play the bush tit and begin weeping.
Absolutely. If I wasn't already weeping a little bit, that certainly would make me think that as well. But yeah, another thing I just thought about after playing that Robin is I can now start chucking food and get some extra eggs as well. So
there you go.
Better to get that down, as soon as I could, really.
Yeah, you get the 2-for-1 on the Raven.
Absolutely.
And you got the Junko making food as well. Yeah, so that's
I'm not going to be short on food, I don't think, this game.
No. So I think my mission here is I want to grab some more food, kind of. But I'm looking, okay, I got, like, there's 9 turns left, and I certainly like this. Maybe Egret, Golden Eagle, or would be a nice big wetland play. I think I want to try to get this titmouse spotted owl down, just because anytime you have a bonus card, there's always a benefit to knowing what the bonus card you're going to draw is, because that can that can kind of shift your future plays. I mean, if I draw something like the omnivore, well, maybe this
Yeah.
stupid bird, it starts to make sense in a play, or maybe it's better to do one thing or the other. So I think my mission at this point is I want to get the food to get this titmouse spotted owl down, and use that to guide my next batch of plays.
Yep, sounds reasonable. And when you're kind of getting those 2 passive points from those pink powers every time I'm doing something, I think you can afford to spend more of these turns. It might look like a weak turn. Okay, I'm only getting a few food and a single egg there, but I don't think you have to worry too much about the point scoring there, knowing how much you're going to be getting from me.
Yeah, no doubt. And I can also, I can also run my grasslands and get a rodent that way too if I want to.
Exactly. But... yeah. If the bird feeder decides not to play ball, then you've always got that security there of being able to use the crow to get whatever you like, really.
Yeah.
Okay. So my kind of key decision at this point is, do I try and compete for this end of round? Obviously, I've got the canvas back, which has got those extra egg spaces. Potentially, I could have been looking to fill up, but I kind of look at your setup, and the number of potential eggs that you're going to be getting is kind of way above what I'm looking at. So I think it makes sense to kind of know when you're beaten and admit defeat there, and kind of just try and maximize the points that I can be looking at getting.
Yeah. Oh, there's one of your double play.
There's one of them, and that is going to go nicely, I think, with the Oriole. So just need one more, and I've got a good chance of hopefully being able to max that one out.
Yeah, and with the Raven and that Catbird, I mean, you'll have no trouble. If you pull something like the Great Horned Owl or something, like, you're gonna have no trouble getting that down.
Absolutely not. No, I've already got kind of more food than I know what to do with. So I can start, like I said, turning some of that into eggs. But really, the more of these kind of big point birds, 8-9 points that I'm getting per bird, those are the kind of ones I'm looking for.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab food again. I don't really have to worry about eggs.
Nope.
In terms of the end of round or anything, and if I decide it's to my advantage to run my grassland after I take food and then do the titmouse owl play. I mean, I'll have a spare piece of food I can run if I need to, or whatever. So I don't. Nothing has happened that has changed my approach here, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead. So I know I need the rodent, and grab the fish. I know I'll need that for the egret, or do I grab that?
Yeah, I think you could potentially be looking at getting some of these double plays in the forest down before you next game food, and then you're at least getting one more piece of food, which is always nice.
Yeah, and I don't have to worry about you messing with the feeder, so it's not like those fish are going anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, if you want them later, you can always go back and grab them. All right, so pretty straightforward for me, I think. 2 turns left. Kind of similar to the position you were in last end around. You give yourself 2 turns, 1 turn to play the bird, and then obviously knowing the next turn I can lay some eggs on it. So I think it's always key. I think these kind of later end of round goals, when they're worth 3 or 4 points, even just for qualifying, you don't want to miss out on those. You want to kind of grab every point you can get, even if it is just coming second and getting the lower bound of points.
Sure. Well, I mean, you've got you got an 8-point play there from the Ibis, and then so it's like running your grassland. I mean, it's definitely keeping up with that, and then so it's just you run your grassland another time, and
exactly.
Yeah, you're good. It's perfect. So I see that you've got the Ibis down, so I've just got to make sure that I end up with 3 eggs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be laying eggs if I'm going to have a chance of qualifying for this end of round goal. So you can count on at least 2. from those pink powers. It's just about making sure you leave the right nests empty to be able to fill those up.
Yeah. So this way, I'll be able to get. I've got 3 down here. I'll be able to get 1 on the bush chit, and I'll be able to get one more up here.
Exactly.
So I don't have to worry about laying eggs on the last turn. I can get whatever food I need, and that's. Oh well, those are somewhat contradictory. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, large birds is perfect if you're going to be doing that double play anyway, and even the turkey as well. So that feels like a no-brainer.
That is very easy.
There you go. Very nice. And again, it's one of those cases of I just played the spotted owl, and it's counting towards that bonus card that I've picked up. So it's always nice when that happens.
Oh yeah, and I am going to get the turkey down just because of that viticulturalist. The turkey will be a 9-point play after you count for the eggs. So.
All right. So that's quite a nice one, whooping crane. These are the kind of birds I'm hoping to be picking up. So I'm going to start copying the robin. I don't think I've quite got enough at the point. Oh, there's the goose. If that had come up a round earlier, I might have been happy. But yeah.
Oh, now
Never mind.
It's,
yeah.
Whatever. Yep. So
exactly.
I just have to make sure that I.
Yeah, get them in the right nests, and you're sorted.
Oh. Okay, so looking at my last batch of plays, I mean, I know I'm going to want to get that turkey down.
Yep.
And then the egret, eagle, or if it ends up having to be falcon or whatever, that's fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab those 2 fish.
Yeah, grab the fish and hope for some rodents on that reroll.
Oh,
there you go.
One.
That'll do very nicely.
That's perfect.
And then, like you say, I think laying eggs in that last round is never a bad move. I think, especially with this kind of setup you've got, getting those eggs and obviously the plenty of extra cards, I think, to tuck behind that bush tit. So if the bird feeder isn't playing nicely, that crow is going to come into play again.
Oh, and there's your Vireo.
There it is.
Yeah, and see, I've got to think. Okay, I don't know that you have that forest bonus, right?
Yeah.
And I've got no reason to take that card or deviate from my strategy. So, good on you.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's the perfect card for me and a terrible card for you. So, there's no reason for you to kind of ruin all of your late round or late game plans just to deny me of something that, like you say, you don't even know it's a good card for me at this point.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the rest of. I'm gonna take food one more time.
Yep.
Plan on playing that turkey, playing the egret eagle combo if I can make that food work, or even if I should be able to, I can just run my grassland again and get it from the crow here. So take that rodent, take the wheat for the turkey, reroll, not helpful, but that's okay. I'm not gonna have any issue meeting my objectives here.
No, so it feels fairly plain sailing. You've got plenty of food. You know exactly what you want to be doing. Getting those big point birds down. So yeah, pretty straightforward late game, I think, for you at this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and yeah, need to make sure I get the right food. Obviously, I know I've not picked up that Vireo yet, but that's just because I know I'm going to be doing a tuck here before I can then obviously use the killdeer here to pick that up. So that is what I'll be doing. And yeah, kind of doesn't really matter. What these other birds that I'm picking up are. I've kind of got enough, I think, at this point to keep me going, and just get some of these big point birds down, and then focus on laying eggs for a few turns and trying to max out the number of points I can get there.
Yeah, I mean, you've basically got two turns. You're gonna, where you're gonna play birds, right? You're gonna do that massive forest play, and you'll potentially get the crane down. So
Yeah, I think the crane's going to have to be an interesting decision for me. You know, it's obviously always a bit of a gamble taking that bonus card compared to the certainty of the eggs. So yeah, I'll do a little bit of calculating. I think further down the road for that.
Yeah. I mean, you know for sure that the huge play is the one in the forest. So
Yep.
kind of get that one down, and then you can
Yeah.
kind of redo the numbers.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think like one thing I talk about quite a lot, and certainly in these kind of videos I've talked about, is being patient, and if you don't have to make a play, put it off for as long as possible and give yourself time. And certainly I think being able to be patient and obviously wait for that video to come up has been nice, but I don't need to wait anymore. I can do this triple play. I know that's going to max out this Forester bonus card. Huge points, and yeah, I've now given myself plenty of egg spaces to lay eggs into, and I think if I want to, I've got the space to just lay eggs for 3 turns. And for me, it's just about, is that going to get me more points, or is it worth trying to get some more birds down?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've got that, that catbird is going to come into play. The fact that I've got the 2 pink powers is going to come into play. Yeah, and you can kind of, but just you go from, I've mentioned this on the broadcast, and it's kind of one of my, listen, I say broadcast, like it sound all big, like it's
very professional,
NBC or something.
Yeah.
But no, you work. It's just kind of a life mantra, right? You work from your knowns to your unknowns. What do you could look at? Okay, the crane is 5 points after you account for the egg plus the potential of a bonus card, versus this forest play, which is 15 points or something. So it's like you're going to get that one down, then you can reassess. So let me see. So my my 3 turns. I mean, I've only got. And just, I don't want to, like, to us it's obvious, but I don't want to gloss over this. Like the reason that this egret eagle play is like, we've just kind of been taking that as a given, but that's because look at my alternatives, right? What's my I mean, I could maybe run this Grassland engine the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
I might end up an egg space or 2 short, but right now that Grassland is worth 6 points.
Yep.
And this play, so these 2 birds are 15 points, plus 3 is 18, minus 8 is 14, right? So that's why we're, just so people understand, that's why we're taking that play as a given, because it's just so superior to the alternative of just running a 6-point Grassland. So the question is here, do I have enough food to just go ahead and do it now? And I think I do.
I think you do,
Yeah.
Because really, those other 2 turns that you've got left, that, like you said, it's still that 6-point Grassland. It's still nice. You've got those extra cards. Certainly none of those are really big enough to be, worth considering playing themselves. I think, even having to overpay a little bit on the eagle, it doesn't really count as overpaying, because you weren't going to use that food for anything else. So it's kind of just using up everything you've got, and pretty straightforward last 2 turns.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna end up in the strong spot that you like, which is I'm gonna end up with 2 cards and no food.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's what
that
you want.
means yeah. It's like very few wasted resources.
Yeah. So I think just kind of my gut feeling here, at least, is it's going to make sense to just lay eggs. I can get 5 eggs there, obviously discarding the food. I'll get another point on the tuck on the robin, another point on the tuck on the junco, and then the catbird, I can copy the robin. So that's 8 points. I do have to take into account I'm going to be giving you 2. So, that's 6 points. If I play the crane, it's 5 points. It's a bonus card. It's that gamble. It's always tricky, I think, knowing whether to kind of take that certainty of the bonus card or not. I think certainly these first couple of turns, I could start skipping the kill deer. That's not going to matter too much. And certainly that canvas back isn't something I'm going to be looking to play. But yeah, I'm kind of in this position of I can run that Grasslands one more time, still be able to keep the crane, and maybe play it and hope for a nice bonus card. But this is where you kind of look and you think, okay, which bonus cards am I going to meet, and which of them am I going to completely miss out on?
Yeah, and I think you've got a neat spot where you're. I mean, you do have a couple star nests. You've got, I think, potentially a lot of. I'm just looking at your board here. It's like you've got the viticulturalist, which you don't know that I have.
Yeah.
You've got shoot. Even I think you might. Do you max out backyard birder or pretty close? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but I mean you've got
There's
you got a fair
options.
number of bonus cards you could hit. So it's just a matter of if it's like only a 1 or 2 points difference, maybe it's worth doing. If it's 3, then you probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got to make sure that I haven't even counted the bull nest space. I assume that I've just been like assuming that I have you, but let me see. You've got 11, and I've got 11.
Ooh.
Huh.
I think those 2 star nests that I managed to get down were just about enough to bring that back. So yeah, you will have to think a little bit carefully about where you're going to be laying these eggs, and making sure you're competing for the end of round, but also making sure you're leaving space so that if I do lay eggs, you're not missing out on any.
Yeah, that's actually a little bit tricky, and it's interesting. I don't mind not having played the hummingbird, because it's even if I could have gone from a tie to a win, that would only be a 3 points difference versus 4 points on the eagle. So that's okay. But yeah, I didn't even consider that. I had just kind of assumed that I was ahead. So yeah, okay. So I know maximum I'm getting 2 eggs on a bull nest. But I also know I'm going to be running the bush tit twice. So that one's only going to have 2 spots. So I don't think I want to lay any bull nest right now, and just kind of keep my options open for that last turn, because I've got plenty of cavity nest space to accommodate the goldeneye, so I don't need to worry about that. So I'm just gonna
I think this is one of those situations where the turn order is really important. If me being able to go last in this round, I kind of have that upper hand in the end of round. If you're going last, you can wait to see what I do, and then you can react accordingly and lay eggs in the right spaces. I think because you have to go before me, it's that question of, well, I need to fill up that space on the bush tit to try and tie this end of round goal, but if I fill up all these spaces, I'm going to potentially miss out on a free egg. So you're kind of trying to second guess what your opponent's trying to do, and I think late in the game like this, that is always such a tricky thing to try and work out.
Oh yeah, and especially too when you get into those those kind of mind games where it's like they know that I know that they know
exactly. Exactly. So okay, it's kind of a tricky one here, because I've got this catbird afterwards that I'm going to copy something, but if I'm going to copy, I'm going to need cards if I'm going to be tucking. So obviously, if I'm going to commit and play the crane, that's potentially missing out on another point. But yeah, I'm gonna go for the gamble, I think, on the crane.
I think that makes sense. I mean, your grassland is what, 5, 6 plus the robin, 7 plus the junco, 8 plus the copy, but minus, so it's a 6-point grassland.
Yeah. And this is 5
versus
plus a bonus card, so
yeah, I mean, I think your expected value is well above 1, especially with as many birds as you've played. You've got a couple star nests, I
would hope so. And yeah, I'm gonna activate the kill deer, just because I know I can get that point from the egg back by doing a tuck anyway. So it's a small thing. Really, that would only have made a difference if I'd drawn a better bird than the crane, which is unlikely, but I've not come out worse off by doing that play.
Yeah. Okay. Now I've got.
This is where you have to be careful about your nest spaces.
Right. Yeah. So. Well, I mean, I'm laying eggs on this last turn anyway, so I can kind of just put those extra eggs down and figure it from here. Okay. So I'm going to switch over to your board. So I've seen that that you didn't spend food in an attempt to max out your egg spaces. Like, you wouldn't have left yourself that food if you weren't planning on playing a bird. I'm just trying to think of what I know without knowing your hand, right?
What can you
So it's like,
anticipate?
yeah. So I have to figure. I mean, yeah, it could have been a mistake, but I know you, like, you did that intending to play a bird. I have to think.
Yeah.
So and I would never be able to, like, make this smart decision in a tournament. It's like that. Who was it, Zobi or whatever? Did the meme where it said, in an exhibition, like, I think I'm a good player, and then in the in the tournament, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
things about stuff.
Yeah, it's that added pressure of making the right decision in that kind of environment is always more difficult.
Yeah, and it's actually it kind of puts you now. I don't know this, right? So but let's say that I think, okay, he's planning on playing a bird. If I assume that, and I fill up my spots here, then your 6-land engine, 6-point grassland becomes a 7-point grassland, and now maybe it's a little bit puts you in a little bit more of a bind. So yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and just fill it up. I always like to double check on there. Oh, gee, look at my score. I guess that kills the drama. But...
Well, you wanna make sure you're not laying on the bush tip completely.
Oh, right.
Because you're going to be doing a tuck. So.
Yes, thank you.
There you go. Don't wanna leave any points on the table.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I think, like, you made some good points there about, okay, now does that change the situation for me? I think this is where, again, kind of putting off that decision, not kind of showing your hand too much. Obviously, if I could have played that crane at any point, I had plenty of food. But if I do that, I'm going to be low on food, and with loads of egg spaces, you can kind of more easily anticipate what I'm going to do, and then that is going to allow you to get those extra points. So, yeah, we will get this crane down and not spend off the bowl nest, and just hope that we get something like the Eulogist. That will do.
There you go.
And I was counting through my cards. I was thinking, well, I need to max on the bowl nests, but I need to make sure, and this is why, I made sure I'd spread out my eggs enough to try and cover as many birds as possible on the off chance that I draw a bonus card like this. So always good to anticipate.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it's ditto for, like, the breeding manager too, where
Absolutely.
It's like, if you see, you can work that in. Wow. Well, this is
right. Yeah, I don't know who's going to win this. I'm really not sure, because you got a lot of free eggs out of me in that game, and yeah, you got some really big point birds, and I think you did better on the end of rounds as well. Yeah, so potentially it's going to be these tuck cards at the end. Just really depends how many I've got.
Oh yeah, you've got a lot.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, I think the cache food as well that I forgot about from the early game that I had to be getting the food from. But well, there you go. 2 very high scores. That's always good to get over 100. So very, very impressive stuff, I think.
Yeah, and I will say, and for the benefit of your viewers, we didn't do multiple games. Like, this was, we didn't play some 82 to 74 like clunker or whatever. This was the first shot. I'm glad it was. It was a good one.
Yeah, and to get Killdeer Raven on the first take.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like, okay, even though I'm very happy with the game that I was able to put together, it was a solid performance. Like, at that point, just that Killdeer Raven combo early, it's going to be so uphill.
Exactly. It made things very easy for me. I think, to be honest, even before the Raven with that Junko, kind of straightforward to just get things in the grasslands and sort of cycle through that. And yeah, those 2 pink egg layers that you had were a really nice counter to that. But just that, I think the huge amount of points I was scoring while also getting the cards and getting the food and all these resources to get other big point birds down and kind of try and max out these bonus cards. Yeah, it was always going to be an uphill battle there.
Yeah, but yeah, good show, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining me. That was good fun.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate you having me.
No worries. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I do have a playlist with more gameplay videos like this. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.